we're seeing, I don't know, man. Getting into winner's quarters, top 8 on the line, and it's just so...
Yeah, winner's quarters is when things start getting kind of spicy, if you will, right? Kind of crispy, kind of crunchy.
It's still a weekly, but also...
But the flavor is there, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Atos and Nova. Right, that's Nova? Where's Nova? There's Nova? Yes, Nova.
I believe so. Yeah, so Atos, Terry.
Yes.
A little bit of Terry action.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about someone who's been grinding, you know, really since the game came out, but also since this character has been at our disposal, even since before the Dark Ages, shall we call it.
Yeah.
This is a guy who kind of hopped online and took a few Ultimate Shockwave online, to my knowledge, and
I think he did, yeah. Atos has always been dangerous. I do miss the Cloud, bring it back, but the Terry is still so terrifying to go up against. Especially in a matchup like this, Nova is going to have to be so slippery, so efficient, going to have to build up that damage with the Ink, get the edge guards, or find whatever his game plan is and make it very, very tight, solid, no air leaking. Because Terry literally rips you a new one.
This yellow Terry is becoming all too familiar a sight, but that bomb gonna give him just a little bit of a different shade of purple here, and it's Nova gonna land that initial bomb. You gotta think that's gonna be good for the confidence, being able to establish projectile play however you possibly can.
Right. You would think so. Sometimes, though, Inkling can get that damage dealt right back so quickly. That down air is ridiculously safe on shield, by the way. -5. Super great air drift. Never know where it's going to hit. Don't try and punish that, kids.
And my whole thing about this matchup, it's very basic. I mean, first of all, you're going to be getting jab, jab, power dunked, basically until the eyes roll into the back of your cephalopodic head. Secondly, it's just, this is a character that already struggles to kill at higher percentages. You need to get these kills at around this point, because otherwise you're getting go meter, and you have nothing to rely on to take the meter away from him other than just maybe catching a straight back air in neutral and, and just hoping that he doesn't
roller.
Shield.
There it is. Yeah.
There you go.
I think Nova's going to start looking for the rollers. One thing I'd love to see in Nova's game plan would be, those moves that put people into tech chase situations, so he can start capitalizing on a lot of the roller opportunities. You know, we've seen a lot of rollers go raw. Well, I mean, me and Neighbor. A lot of rollers go raw, and they did hit, but you want that extra spice. You want that extra layer of what can I do, especially in a matchup like this where the damage is very, very important. Oh no!
And this is the whole problem, though. It's like I feel like there is definitely a shelf life on the roller mix-up. You gotta find another way, and it's whether it's just confirming. It is PS2. Perhaps you get something off of grab and you're able to get the up air out of it. Even then, that feels like a little bit of a hopeful ask.
Right. You know, you can't always expect that those percentages will be in your favor. That's safe, but Nova with an excellent parry. See, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I like it.
Those are the strings that Nova needs, and maybe a couple more, something, but the point is, it's in the viewpoint, and that is perfect for this matchup, especially versus Atos, who is going to need to be moving around a lot. Now, if you're next to him, the only thing moving are the hands.
Yeah, that is the whole thing. You just get slid on, and then Terry asks a question, and then you die.
Yeah.
So, 129, and there you go. That short ceiling is going to come into play. And
also, a Booyah percent, I think, is pretty easy.
That is true. Again, though, you're talking about these sort of individual options that you have.
True.
Definitely have a shelf life, but at the same time, all you need is just a little bit of efficiency, and maybe Atos focuses a little too much on the buttons and not so much on the negative space between the two.
Right. Oh, that's an excellent way to put it, the negative space, exactly. Because you want to be able to shorten that or expand it however you see fit. Pressing too many buttons means you've already committed to something, and Atos has done nothing but commit. Some of them have gone fantastic, and it still can go that way with Go on the screen, but Nova is trying their hardest to make sure that is not possible. Gaining space, right? Feeling very, very comfortable. Oh my God, dude! You almost sold so hard.
Nova. The entire life flashing before the eyes of that Inkling. Trying to make it back to center stage. It's going to be caught on the corner here. Up against the ropes, perhaps. But Eidos, not exactly in a great position himself. You get caught by these quick little hitboxes. All of a sudden, you're out of a position to be on the offensive. And that's kind of what you're relying on. Beautiful catch on the roll. And Eidos, my goodness. Making him into calamari rings. You got to appreciate that from
Was
the
that
Terry.
on purpose? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. I didn't think so. I think both of them actually misinputted that whole entire last interaction.
Maybe, but I'll tell you what, Eidos guessed right either way. It's
yeah, game don't lie. Either way, regardless of what happened, game don't lie.
Yeah, I can tell you what happened. The windscreen said.
Yeah, Terry. And that's why we're
Goodness.
going to game 2 with Nova still needing to get on the board. Now, we see in game 1 that it's extremely possible. The potential is so there. But finishing out stocks has always been a weakness of Inkling, and Nova is definitely coming to terms with that versus Ados, where these last stock situations, these last final hit confirming situations are harder for Nova to move around than Ados.
Yeah, and not to take anything away from Ados' victory, which was well-earned, it does feel like Nova's having to work a lot harder to get to these last stock situations than Ados is, because at the end of it, it really does come down to who's able to punch the opponent in the face the hardest.
Right.
And let me tell you, you ain't beating Terry in that contest regardless, but Inkling is going to struggle against most of the cast anyway, just because you don't... This is a game where, if you're honest, you have to adapt to a land of moves. And that is kind of what Inkling is, more or less. It has been upon birth, unfortunately.
Yeah, since the inception, just the meta caught up to them and unfortunately was not kind. Nova, like I said, still not piloting a useless character, but the amount of work that he has to do for edge guards, damage, kills, you name it, is so difficult. It honestly very frustrating, I think, as a player to deal with. And Eidos is, I think, leaning into it very well by just doing his moves, pressing his buttons, not really concerned about the neutral too much, but just making sure that Nova has to always adapt to what he's doing.
Oh, okay. Eidos making things interesting off the ledge, and is going to get him with that booyah. Got him at 148, oh, 128 more accurately. But
wow, yeah, so that's pretty early for Terry. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, but you have to do that if you're Nova. You have to get minimum into the red numbers, and even then, you know that you're going to have to deal with 1 or 2 neutral interactions therein.
Right.
So you have to risk Eidos swinging and missing on a Buster Wolf or getting committed into a Power Geyser, and maybe from there you get something off of Roller, I would imagine. But either way, this is Nova kind of just, I mean, how do you deal with the power hitter?
I think he's
just kind of stick and move and get him far enough off the ledge that you can't do anything about it. That's a ring out in a game where you might not be used to that if you're Terry.
Right.
This ain't Soul Calibur, man.
Immediate round, just because you got wrung out. Oh, that game used to, man, okay.
Yeah, no. I have bad memories of my brother just absolutely rooking me with Yoda.
Okay, Yoda was busted. Yoda was actually the most broken character Soul Calibur's ever seen in its entirety.
Yeah, no. So let's talk about a game where we apparently can't ban characters. Let's go back to this. And back airs galore for Nova. I guess this isn't the exact tournament to make that joke, but nevertheless, jabs, and also you do get a little bit of a damage increase off of hits, but Eidos is going to give him no such opportunity. Spare that one down air, which we saw. Oh man, that could have been the start of that could have been the beginning of the end.
Beginning of the end, exactly. I was thinking the same exact thing. Eidos very smartly spent his jump, just trying not to be in the situation at all. Nova finding themselves in the exact same situation they were in game 1. But game 2 ends with the up air for Nova. We are going to game 3 versus these two. And this is a back and forth set. Nova has some great moments. Ados obviously destroying anything in his path. The game 3 is going to be spicy. I think it's needed. But where do you do it? Because I don't think we're going back to PS2. I don't think Eidos wants to deal with PS2 any longer.
Oh, and Otto's going. Oh, beautiful. Dude, honestly, the entire SNK soundtrack on this game is so
it's
good.
pretty adrenaline-inducing, I will say.
It's a jam no matter what, and they are not going to stray from their guns. They're going to go right back in for game number 3, and Nova showing the blueprint to how to deal with this final destination indeed from one of these two on winner's side. Top 8 berth on the line here in this game 3.
Let's get it. Nova receiving a lot of damage right now. Opportunity to respond, but Eidos, disrespectful as ever, running in, forward air, power wave.
Oh. Bombs.
What?
Oh, no!
Hello!
Yo. Eidos, these are the sorts of things that I kind of miss from Shockwave Online, if I'm being completely real. Seeing that just from the comfort of my home and being able to yell as loud as I needed to without bothering.
M? No, bother M.
Okay,
M deserves to be bothered. Just a little bit.
The fact that he's already, yeah. I was about to commend you for keeping such a straight face, and then you had to go and say that. Off the mic, granted, I'll give you, but Eidos, man.
I need M commentary. Eidos, yeah. Anyway, you're right. We get distracted. Look, Nova has got to find a way to get this stock, and I mean now. Honestly, you should have done it yesterday, because 66, 72, and anything past this, no bueno.
It is interesting that what we're seeing. It's just these little disruptions and the setup.
He tapped him.
Dude, the Eidos has gotten so much out of Nair in this one.
Like that's all he did. He didn't even give him a whole full handshake. He was like,
yeah, he really gave him the waddy there. That's crazy. That's absolutely nutty. And Nova finally going to get that stop to confirm off of the up air, just much like we saw in game number 2. But, I mean, Otto's, man, what he's been able to get just strictly off of Nair, those little setups into that power geyser especially. But, I mean, that's stock number 1. It's just been all about disrupting Nova. Like, the game plan was clear for Nova. You utilize the flat ground that's given to you. You know that Terry doesn't have platforms to escape to. So you gotta just zoom back and forth like a poor man's Sonic. But no, you get caught by a hitbox, all of a sudden you're in deep trouble and liable to get power geysered or power dunked in the middle of the air. It's a full stock lead, the charged rising tackle. You saw that little bit of invincibility as well. Nova could not have done anything about it. It's going to be a down smash. Not a whole lot of ink to spare here for Nova. You gotta get tricky with it, I feel like, and that's why you're gonna be looking for these.
Maybe with the rage.
Okay, wait. Actually not going for the refill.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough.
Oh, yeah, now you are. You don't even have your, oh, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Mix-ups on the ledge aplenty.
Give himself a little bit of space, and man, you cannot go very long in Splatoon without refilling, and you can only go so long when you got a power geyser ready to erupt.
Yes, sir.
The yellow-coated Yellowstone geyser coming up from the ledge and taking out Nova. Eidos, I mean, that's a top 8 berth, well earned.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that was game 3, so yeah, I had to get it from the mud. That last game, Otto's just had it. You know what I'm saying? That the first conversion, I believe that up air, nair, down air was ridiculous. So with momentum like that, you know he's going to just run through the winner's bracket. And we'll see who he gets to run into right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Wavy Wednesdays.
back to the lab. Testing 1, 2.
Diane, it's 4:28 a.m. We should have something for us by now.
Welcome back to this, the 140th edition of Ultimate Shockwave, brought to you by the good folks here at T-Lock. Twitch.tv/Turning Locator is the call sign, Neighbor and Stu the announcer on the microphone, and it's finally a not